Greetings. This is actually the wrong cover photo. Let me just change that. There it is. The question of the day is: how do you decide what's good and bad, or good and evil, right or wrong? What's your ethics based on? Where does ethics come from? Okay, that's it. So I'll just go ahead and invite a few people. If Lee is available, he's very nice to talk to, actually. And while doing that, I'll just throw in some introduction to the topic, okay? So ethics, the word ethics. The word ethics comes from Greek ethos. I do not remember the exact meaning of the word ethos, but it's something like when we speak of ethics today, we speak of good and bad, right and wrong, what's acceptable and what isn't. Okay, Lee is available, Noble, Jesse, I'll invite you guys. So yeah, ethics is that branch of philosophy which speaks of good and evil, or right and wrong, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, yeah? And yesterday we were talking about hi Leo, nice to see you. Yeah, yesterday I was talking about other philosophical questions, the first two components of philosophy, which were metaphysics or reality, and epistemology or knowledge. So is reality real or not? And how do you know that? Yeah, those are the first two branches of philosophy. Now today we are going through the third component of philosophy, ethics. So here are the questions again. How do you decide what's good and bad? What's your ethics based on? So where does ethics come from? And this is a very interesting question. Let me just open the window a bit. So a lot of religious folks try to kind of hijack the kingdom of ethics, and they say that, well, if you don't believe in God or in a holy book, then you are unethical. They argue that ethics is related to religion, and if you are an ethical person, you need to believe in God or in something supernatural, yeah, powerful. And I obviously disagree with that. Like, they don't even try to justify that. How come? Like, how come if I'm a believer, I'm a non-believer, then I'm immoral, And when we try to go through Christian morality, questions get even stranger, weirder. Are all Christians good? No, they're not. Or religious people, yeah, any religion. So if you have religion, then you're good. Obviously, the answer is no, yeah. We have a lot of religious people who are criminals, who are immoral, who are aggressive, etc. So religion or faith in a God doesn't make you moral, That's a very important point. Moreover, when you have an all-powerful, all-forgiving God, it gives you sanction to do whatever you are told or you think, is good to do in the name of your God, yeah? And in the end, well, your almighty, all-powerful, all-loving God will forgive you. And this is unethical, this is immoral, you know. All the jihadists that enliven themselves, yeah, people, you don't pronounce the word starting with T on TikTok. So all the people who commit crimes against individuals or against groups, you know, those people are also driven by religion. Yeah, they are driven by a belief in an all-powerful God that will forgive them, and so on. So it's not really, you know, that faith or religion make you moral. Inquisition, that was, you know, very criminal, very bad. But Inquisition was born out of Christianity, or the famous jihad, yeah, where the followers of the given religion of Islam, yeah, some of them commit a lot of atrocities across the globe. Again, it's their religion, yeah. And in the Old Testament, when you read it, and both Christianity and Islam have this literature, yeah, they both took it from the Jews, yeah, from the Jewish, or I'd say Judaistic tradition. Oh, thank you for the follow, Just. And Svidani, thank you for the follow as well. So no, having religion doesn't make you more moral, you know? And what we should understand is that what we think is good and bad, and where ethics comes from, is actually Svidani, merci, is actually about your view on reality and on knowledge. So, you know, those branches of philosophy are interconnected. For example, if I believe that reality is not real, then, and also there is an all-powerful being which creates this matrix, yeah, this fake reality, yeah, then my ethics will be based on that belief. Yeah, I will believe that. Okay, so okay, then I need to, whatever this all-powerful creature says is good is good. See, my ethics, what I think is good and bad, are dictated by my perception of the world, what the world is, how it is created, how it is maintained, etc. See, this is very important, because whether we realize this or not, our perception of the world makes our ethics, you know. Our belief system is dictated by those other branches of philosophy. And if you don't know this, you are more easier, it will be easier to manipulate you, you know. If you don't know all of this, then you will be fooled, you will be cheated, especially politicians and religious leaders, you know, they will benefit from your lack of knowledge or ignorance, and they will manipulate you all the time, you know. So this is kind of an introductory part. Yeah, what is ethics? Yes, ethics is that part of philosophy. And now another interesting question: how is ethics formed, actually? This is also interesting. So And this is very personal, yes, how my ethical views are formed. Okay, why I believe that something is good and I believe that something is bad. You know, how does this work? Well, this is another interesting and important question, and I'll just think aloud here, and I invite others to do the same. Okay. Now, okay, what's right for me? For me, it is right to live my own life, to be well, to be healthy, to be happy, to fulfill my needs. Yes, all my needs. About food, about friendship, sex, and romantic relationships, everything, whatever I need. Yes, my body and my mind, whatever is needed for me, those needs need to be fulfilled. And for me, it is good to take care of my needs. It is also good for me to take care of my environment, like to make the place where I live better. That's why I planted trees in my community, not only on the land that my parent owned, but also on the sidewalks, like next to the bus stop, which I used since my early childhood. I did that because I want to make my own environment good. So it's also selfish. And when we speak of ethics, so selfishness and altruism, those are two important themes as well. What's acceptable, what's not. Some people and movements and religions, they criticize altruism. Yeah, they say, no, altruism is bad. And they say, oh, sorry, they criticize selfishness. They say, no, selfishness is bad. And they say that altruism is good. Yeah, you need to sacrifice yourself, blah, blah, blah. For me, it doesn't work like that. And my reason tells me that ultimate altruism is self-destructive. If I sacrifice myself for others, then I kill myself. And once I'm gone, then that community won't even be able to feed upon me anymore. Even for that community which requires my energy, my talents, my skills, abilities, etc. If I, do an overdose on um, altruism, it will be bad also for them because they won't be able to benefit from me and my life and my vital energy anymore. You see? So altruism can be bad. So that's what's good for me. Yeah. And I don't think that I have to make, everybody's life better. That would be too much for me. So what's bad for me? And I'm speaking as an individual. Yeah, I think I'm speaking as an objectivist, but still I'm reflecting on my own experience, my own priorities, needs, and values. Okay. So what's actually good for me? What's not good for me? So when my freedom or life restricted for some audiences contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Oh wow. What a crazy thing. Like what did I Okay, I understand the decision. This is too my life does not contain. Yeah, I think my life doesn't contain. What is this about? I spoke of altruism and I think I know. I used one term which maybe they thought was about something else. Oh, TikTok. Okay, so now where was I? Yeah, what's bad for me as an individual? When my freedom is restricted, that's very bad for me. And I take it very seriously, whether it's a parent or a society I live in when they try to stomp on or restrict my liberty or my freedom, then it's very serious for me, and I don't want to. I don't want to live in a place that doesn't respect me as an individual and doesn't allow me, be it the family, the society, the circle of friends, individuals, partner, city, country, continent, etc. So if my freedom is not respected, for instance, as a gay person and non-binary person, if I'm told that it is illegal to wear certain type of attire, or my gender, the government wants to control my gender, like you have to be either this or that gender, all of this is very restrictive. So it's bad for me, as an individual. I cannot thrive as an individual when my freedom is not respected. And also, what is bad for me, when I am cheated, when they try to manipulate my opinion, they try to lie to me, that's also not good for me. So my ethics are pretty individualist, I would say. And my ethics is shaped from the realization that I experience life through this particular body, and I'm not willing to surrender neither my mind nor my body to any other person on this planet, and to any group on this planet, any religion, any state, no one. So that's not good for me. And if my freedom is not respected, then I'm out, So this is the topic of ethics overall. Different cultures and movements and people have their own take on ethics. When we speak of ethics, Yazis, they had their own ethics. And the far right, the far left, all of them here, they have their ethics. So something can be perceived as unethical from my own perspective, but from the perspective of that specific group, it can be viewed as ethical. And this can be debatable. I think the topic of gender and how different cultures try to uphold a specific gender model. In the US right now, a lot of states are passing. And in Eastern Europe, hi Golden Middle, and welcome.
Hello.
So the main topic is ethics, and now I'm talking about the politics of gender and whether it's ethical or not to control people's gender and stuff. So maybe I could give you the opportunity to answer those questions first, if you'd like to.
Well, first about good and bad, I think if he does harm, it's bad. If he does no harm, it's good. It's as simple as that for me.
All right.
I
And
think my dog even knows that.
all right. So whenever you harm someone, it's bad. Yeah.
Not only harm someone,
More. Yes. If when you help, then
as
that's
you
good.
wish.
So sometimes it's not. Yeah. Let's just think around this question. Yeah, that's an interesting one. How to make it more productive. So because overall, I agree. I agree that helping yourself or others is good, but not always. Yeah. So let's just think
Well,
about.
bring me an example. Not always. What do you
Well,
mean?
I just
Helping
gave you one.
myself or others,
Ah,
can it be bad?
well, when I plagiarize, that's bad, right? Or
Yeah,
I
what
know that.
your example, yes, I agree, is bad.
Uh-huh,
I'm talking about if I'm doing only good to me or other people,
uh-huh.
how can that be bad?
Well, this is why I'm giving you more context. Yeah, depending on the context. Here's another context. I know that someone is another example. Yeah, someone is a religious fanatic, and they blindly believe that they need to do something, to someone else, and I help him by giving that person some instruction or maybe some weapon. So I'm still helping the person, but overall it can't be good, right? If I know that it's in the end something else will be done.
No, initially, if you're doing it with bad intention, there's nothing good about that.
Hmm. All right, another example with good intentions, like I want to support big businesses, and also those big businesses think that they're doing the good thing by getting bigger and buying off their like smaller partners, yes, smaller companies, competitors who are on the market. But then they become, a monopoly, and the smaller companies cannot just survive because they can't. But I was helping those big companies, and those big companies were they thought that what they were doing was good. See, sometimes this famous saying, yes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right?
I've heard that saying before, but what you're saying is, let me give you an example.
Mhm.
Uh, as far as the Soviet Union,
Mhm.
it had monopoly because it had no private sector, hence no competition.
Mhm.
Yet it provided very, very inexpensive products that were of high quality. They
Mhm.
were not the best designs. I want to say both sides, the good side of it and the bad.
Okay.
They were
Okay.
not the best designs. They were not the latest models or as fancy, but it was wool, it was linen, it was cotton, it was not as colorful. Yeah, evening wear looked like day wear and morning wear. But people weren't spending all their money as in our consumer society, their last dollar and on credit buying the new fashion.
Mhm.
Nobody was naked. Nobody looked ugly, you know. So it's how you look at it. It definitely doesn't see this is not something we can say it's bad or good because it's matter of taste.
Mhm. So, if we take the USSR, uh, I come from a former USSR country, by the way, the Republic of
I
Armenia.
noticed the accent.
Yeah. So, what would you say my accent sounds like to you?
You said you're from Armenia?
Yeah, I did. But before that, what would you, assume? Where was I from?
Uh, Being Armenian myself, I had no difficulty guessing.
Oh, okay. Okay. All
What
right.
what did you think about my accent?
Oh, I thought I'm communicating with a native speaker. Yeah.
Mhm.
No hint of any, Armenian accent or something.
So,
Yeah. So yeah, the USSR. Okay, good and bad in the context. So they Sovietized. Yeah, they Sovietized almost an entire continent. Yeah, well, a huge part of it. Yeah,
A large landmass.
yeah. Like I don't know how many. Like maybe 50+% of I don't know, Eurasia, probably approximately. So, and of course, their intentions were good, yes, like for the sake of the working class, so that people uh, would not
I
be.
wouldn't say necessarily the intentions of the. Look, this is how I look at it.
Mhm,
Karl Marx,
mhm,
yeah, he may have had good intentions.
mhm.
Engels, maybe.
Okay.
Lenin didn't only have good intentions.
Mm,
What intentions Stalin had is a whole nother story. He was a great pharaoh, I think.
mm.
Pharaoh is not always a positive person, so
Yeah,
I'm not.
like a slave owner, yes, giving orders to
Yeah,
everyone.
you have to understand everything in the context of that time period.
Mhm,
And that territory, what we call Russia or Soviet Union, it was and it still is
mhm,
under the guise of the Anglo Saxons,
mm, mm,
colonizers, and they defended the best they could. Maybe good, maybe bad, maybe the right means, the wrong means. You know, that's why I say war is hell and it's bad to begin with. Once it
yeah,
starts, there is no this side is right, that side is wrong. It's
mm,
made the best man win.
mm. The best in brackets, yeah.
No, best man meaning the best one that's doing the war, you know. The war will decide who's the best. It's not just this is not something we can have opinion on. The winner
What
is
do
the
you mean
best.
by best?
Well,
That's
just like in boxing, whoever wins, whoever the judge raised the
okay.
hand,
Okay,
he's
the
the
sheer
best.
physical power. Yeah, that's it.
That's why I don't like war. War is only share, but it's not only that. Diplomacy has a lot to do with it too.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, getting back to the topic, what's good? I'm just very interested, in these philosophical questions. So helping myself and helping others is good. I can agree on the principle, but I'm, curious, I'm interested in getting deeper. So sometimes, even if your intentions are positive, and even Lenin and Stalin, who knows, in their minds, maybe they were like, this is the best scenario. If I'm not around, if I don't take care of my political opponent, they will take power and, this whole project will be destroyed. You never know, yes? Probably all the dictators and killers, mass murderers, they think like that. Who knows?
Well, we all abuse the word dictator. The Soviet Union honestly declared itself dictatura proletariata,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
means they admitted they're dictators, but
yeah.
dictating the working class will be dictating.
Hmm.
So we tend to make taboos of certain words, and people once they hear it, it's like a keyword, and it automatically brings a negative connotation.
So actually, even if
Just like the opposite of what the liberals in the West have done.
Mhm.
Uh, what I mean by that is when I was young, I was a liberal, but it meant different from what it means today.
Uh-huh.
When I was young, and I still am very tolerant person, but
Okay.
it means completely different today.
Okay.
Michael Jackson, when he sings "I'm bad," we all think that's good. This is how it's done.
Okay.
Overtone window.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting. Um, but still, my point was sometimes we may think that we are doing, the good stuff, yeah, and still it can, I'm thinking, I think I'm speaking of the standards of judgment. How do we define good? And if someone or a group of people say, so this is the good thing, we're doing the good thing. It's not always good, yes? So I'm very interested. I want, through these lives and discussions to broaden my own understanding and bring more clarity and allow people to do that for themselves too. So it's not enough, yeah, obviously, to say, well, if I'm helping myself or someone, then it's good. Sometimes it's not. So what could be done about? And this is not an easy question, I understand, but I'd like to think around that, and I
Well,
invite
let
you.
me give you an example.
Yeah.
Might shine some light on this issue.
Okay.
Uh, when I was young in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
they had TV commercials all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Help the starving people of Ethiopia,
Okay.
or maybe it was Somalia.
Mm-hmm.
And the people of United States would donate a lot of money to
Yeah.
that fund,
Yeah.
and they would actually deliver bags of rice and feed these kids. We would see our money going, and no starvation at least.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
after 10 or 15 years of this going on, finally the Ethiopian people, they protested
Mm-hmm.
against this help.
Okay.
I remember very clearly the signs they were holding.
Uh-huh.
Don't feed me fish every day. Teach me how to fish.
Okay. Well, makes sense.
Because the West was manipulating even rumors of intentionally making conditions worse for famine, to create famines. So this flow of money, where they were,
Yeah.
corruptly eating up $9 out of $10 and feeding them just plain rice. And I will add to that, while giving them these bags of rice, the grains of rice were broken in half so these poor people couldn't plant them and have their own next year.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Okay? So this
Kind
is
of
a
evil.
great example of what you were saying. It
Yeah.
was shown as a very good thing,
Yeah.
but it was with evil profit intentions. And
Mm-hmm.
not only profit, but actually creating conditions for the famine to drag on.
Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the keywords in this story
Let
is
me tell you
intention.
a very interesting preach about a little bird. It will put a,
Uh-huh.
it'll, it'll be right on the spot.
Okay.
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 We all know that birds like to fly south for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Before the colds, this little bird decides that it's still sunny enough, is going to stick around. Why bother fly so far? But yet, after a week, really cold temperatures, he's freezing, he decides to fly south.
Mm-hmm.
Once he flies up in the upper atmosphere, he really freezes up, the wings covered with ice, falls down like a piece of rock in a fresh cow dung. Cow dung is hot, so he warms up. He comes to, he's hungry. He finds a few seeds in the dung, he eats, so now he's warm and he's already full. His stomach is full. He starts singing,
Mm-hmm.
and a cat hears him, comes by, pulls him out of the dung, licks him clean, and eats him.
Mm-hmm.
What's the moral of this story? Not every time you fall into shit is bad for you, and not everybody that drags you out of shit, it means your best interest.
Yeah.
Okay, so life can be same thing. You can say one thing now, which could be good for one side but bad for the other. There's no absolute good. That's why this nick I have with the little picture of yin and yang.
Yeah.
I'm not a Buddhist, but that's the best emblem to describe what I'm preaching.
Hmm. And
Never go far right, never go far left. There's a golden middle. And gold is the most noble color, the most noble metal. Even, acid doesn't take it. Even if it takes it, it can come back to form gold again. That's why it's been valued throughout the world, even with cultures that never even dealt with each other or even knew about each other. That's why I always preach the golden middle. Don't go too far to the right or left. Don't trust either one.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you're saying is, it resonates with me. I consider myself an objectivist. The philosophy of Ayn Rand. You've read Atlas Shrugged, or you've heard of it, or The Fountainhead, her famous novels. Have you heard of these?
No, no.
Okay.
Remind me. Maybe I
Yeah.
have, but
Overall, it's neither far right nor far left. It's a very individualistic. Yeah, it's about the individual. Yes, like the personal freedoms of the individual, and neither you're not neither supporting like far right conservative groups nor far left ultra liberal groups.
yeah, it's centrist.
Yeah. So I like the philosophy of objectivism because they have the author, she suggested a very interesting formula, which might be also, useful for this discussion. She says the only absolute is reason. By that, she means that you always have to reason for yourself, consider the given context, the given situation. You cannot look for some mantras, yeah, or like ideals and say, well, okay, this is going to work all the time, always, in all the situations, because sometimes all things fail. And what's good, thinking on around this question again, what's good, what is good, how to define it? Okay, helping others, that's one thing. And helping others with pure or positive intentions, maybe, but still sometimes you might be wrong about the intentions. Like you may think it's good, but it may not. So something else is needed, I think, for
That's
this
why I say always
golden
remember
middle.
about duality. Because
Yeah.
one more example. Say
uh,
France helping Armenia, giving it weapons.
yeah.
That's good for Armenia. But
Yeah.
is it good for the Armenian enemy, Azerbaijan? Of course, no.
Yeah.
That's why there's duality.
Yeah.
There's no absolute good. That's why you go towards the golden middle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the absolute.
Okay, so helping, one, good intentions, two. Golden middle, we could take this idea. So neither whatever is extreme is, yeah, it's already bad. And I'm not interested in, whether far right is trying to uh, oppress me or far left is trying to oppress
Yeah,
me.
I don't want to be oppressed, period.
Anyway, yeah, yeah. So maybe we could take those three components. Yeah, the golden, yeah, something in the middle. That's an interesting, okay, something that's more balancing. That's an interesting idea. And if you can think of, oh, thanks for the follow, I'll follow you back.
Oh, I'm having a good conversation. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. So we could take that. I think that makes sense, Something that could be balancing, I think that's a very good idea in this context, speaking of ethics. even if we take France and Armenia, see now, if we take Ukraine and Russia, China is offering to bring its own peace. What is it called? Peace Corps or delegation? Yeah, the soldiers.
You know
Because
why China is to me is more of a neutral uh
player, maybe.
player, because the West is up to its neck already part of this conflict. It's not it's not logical for them to be mediators. A mediator should be somebody that is neutral to the conflict.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in that context, China, I think, is doing that. Yes, China is somewhere in the middle. I think we could agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has ties with Russia because of military issues,
Yeah.
and ties with America, the West, because of its economic issues.
Yes. Yes. So I'm glad we had this conversation. It gave me, yes, a little more ground. So I'll just make notes for myself. So what's good? Because these questions are very important to me, especially now where we are in the world, in the US. Number one, helping each other or oneself, helping. Yes. Number two, good intentions. We can agree that as a principle, it makes sense. And something which is like the golden middle, yes? Not extreme. Not extreme, like not one-sided, yeah, if possible. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Okay, thank you for your input. I like this very much. We could maybe, yes,
Give me the time.
talk about the second question. What's your ethics based on? So how do you decide, this is good, this is bad?
Ethics, I think, in the beginning, religion had a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
All religions, not any specific religion. I think that's the role of religion
Mm-hmm.
to I'm not a heavy believer, so any believers, I don't want to offend them, but I think I can compare it to the story of Santa Claus. It's meant good. Our parents tell us about Santa, so we behave, and towards the end of the year, we will be rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
Religion is about the end of your life. You will be rewarded or punished. But when we grow up, we realize our Santa is mom and dad.
Yeah, yeah.
They created together from one spermatozoid, if you know how small that is.
Yeah.
If I spit, there's millions of them in there. They can fit. They created this 100-kilo universe. I mean, if that's not godly, if that's not divine, I don't know. I don't want to think about who created the universe I live in. I worship who created my universe, me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I worship my creators and they worship their creators and they worship their creators, eventually you come to the first creator that was not created. So I have a direct line with my creator through my parents. I don't need middlemen. Middlemen, I accept them as teachers to learn how to express myself correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ethics, definitely religion played part in it. But if I know many families, especially throughout Soviet Union, that were not religious but very ethical people because they were grown up. They didn't need the scare being scared of God to be good people. They were just good people.
Yeah.
So religion has its place in your infancy to raise you, but afterwards you need to open your eyes and just be good. You know why I'm good? Not because of religion. This is how I look at life. Human body is, as religion says, is from earth, but what makes us human is our energy, what you or religious people call soul. Now, if after leaving this earth, this life, your energy separates from your casing, physics law tells me that energy never disappears. It can turn from kinetic to electric energy, but it cannot disappear. So I don't need religion to tell me that my energy is never disappearing. Now, but there's a question. Does it matter what kind of energy you build in your casing? Positive or negative, right? We know of positive and negative, yes. And if you fill your body, your earthly body with positive energy, once it's released from the weighing down of your body, and the planet is a live planet, so it's also positive. Magnetics tells me it will push me out into space at the speed of light. And even Einstein proved that at the speed of light, time stops. So I am guaranteed eternity, flying through space at the speed of light. So I will be light. So I don't need 2 volumes of books contradicting information, some other people's history, mixed and matched, and very simple. If you do good, you will be traveling space at the speed of light. If you fill your casing with negative energy, once you die, the planet is positive, you're negative. What happens? Magnetics. The plus will pull you in. So you will go to the middle of the earth where we know is lava. So religion is not lying. Those what do you call them? Those little devils are going to be cooking you in eternal fire.
Wow, that's super interesting. I've never heard this,
It's
interpretation.
my own. I don't preach nobody's
Oh, wow.
ideas.
Super interesting. I'm very glad I met you. Thank you so much for your
Same
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I'm glad when I meet people that understand, because many people today
Yeah.
they look at it, it's not in their narrative, it's not what their Bible says or their preacher, and right away negative feelings.
Or they laugh at it, or they say, okay, that's whatever. So I think we'll definitely continue this conversation, even with the second question. We're not done yet, but I forgot that I have a call. Actually, in Armenian, I have this person with whom we cover topics like it's personal development, lessons. So in case if you're interested, I could send you the link. I'll have it live on YouTube in Armenian. If not, I'll just go and do that with him. And then another day, maybe tomorrow, I'll go live again and we could hopefully continue this conversation. Okay?
Thank you. I'll talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Yeah. Send me the link.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Have a good day. See you. Bye-bye.